Now, what's the biggest threat that cricket as a sport faces today? You've been seeing hints of that everywhere over the last many months. Players revolting and certain cricket boards in the world not really having the clout to stop or control this, and somehow coming to terms with this or simply giving in. That's what it's amounted to. The temptation of league cricket is real. Let me give you some examples to support what I'm saying right away. Pakistan. Haris Rauf revolts with the Pakistan Cricket Board, PCB, and gets his way to play the BBL or the Big Bash League, which is in Australia. Pakistan terminated Rauf's central contract, but that was just a warning. He features in the Pakistan Super League right after, and of course, the fact that he's got injured doesn't help anyone. West Indies, Nicholas Pooran, Jason Holder, Kyle Mayers chose to not accept the central contracts with the board and preferred to play league cricket over the world instead. West Indies couldn't hold on to them. They do not have the power to stop these players. Bangladesh, Shakib Al Hasan is not retired, contests elections and in doing so misses some of the national team fixtures and then goes up to train and appear in the BPL or the Bangladesh Premier League right after the elections, in fact. No one can control what Shakib is choosing to do. By that I mean the board, the authority in this matter. Afghanistan, three key players, Mujibur Rahman, Naveen ul Haq, Fazal Haq Farooqi, who were key in that World Cup campaign of theirs in 2023, demanded they be released from the central contract so they could play T20 cricket around the globe. Eventually, they came to some sort of an understanding based on negotiations that they appear for national duty but still can go ahead and play their leagues. Not the most convenient resolution, as injuries are definitely a major concern. There's a lot of cricket when this happens, like what happened with Haris Rauf. And the issue is also with some of the other boards. The IPL or the Indian Premier League is a massive window. It's one of the most prestigious and lucrative leagues the world over. But playing that comes at a cost, missing games for your country or even getting injured in the process. A lot of boards have been forced to take their players out of IPL. The Australian board did that. We had Mitchell Starc being absent for a while. Of course, there was injury concerns too, but the Ashes or cricket calendar in Australia was far more important. But these are anecdotal. Like with England cricketers, many of them do not feature in the IPL at all. Joe Root, in fact, was one of the latest additions. New Zealand captain Kane Williamson himself got injured badly during his inaugural stint with the IPL franchise Gujarat Titans last year, and that resulted in him missing a few crucial games for New Zealand at the 2023 World Cup. So there are repercussions of this choice between club and country in this storm that is fast approaching, where players are more and more moving away from their parent bodies and towards the league way of cricket. But here's the thing, one board is showing its iron fist when it comes to laying down the rules and dictating what their players must do and choose, and what lies ahead of the choice that they make. In fact, today, just a while earlier, the fresh annual contracts were announced by the board. And guess who did not make the cut or who were removed from the contracts? Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan. Both of their annual contracts have been terminated. They weren't even considered as mentioned specifically in the release. The BCCI clearly sending out a strong message to the rest in the country. BCCI stands for Board of Control for Cricket in India, and no phrase describes this board any better. BCCI or the Indian board is proving to be the taskmaster, where other boards have been weak or have lost control over their own players and the talent. The Indian Cricket Board continues to deal with any insubordination in the most strict and disciplinary way. It started off with wicketkeeper bat Ishan Kishan requesting for time away from cricket. Reports suggested it was pertaining to mental health, and we understand that. There is constant cricket throughout the year and can take a toll on your mind and your emotional space, and so did the Cricket Board. But then months down the line, and it just seemed like Ishan was preparing for the T20 cricket to follow rather than the national schedule that was lined up for him. Many statements came out made by the board as well as the team management saying the cricketers who were not part of the senior side were required to play domestic cricket while they were at it. Ishan Kishan was supposed to turn out at the Ranji Trophy, domestic tournament in India, for his state side Jharkhand. He was told to do so, but surprise, surprise, he didn't turn up. The board then went ahead and made this statement.
It's essential to recognize that domestic cricket forms the backbone of Indian cricket and serves as the feeder line to Team India. Our vision for Indian cricket has been clear from the outset. Every cricketer aspiring to play for India must prove themselves in domestic cricket. Performance in domestic tournaments remain a critical yardstick for selection, and non-participation in domestic cricket will carry severe implications.
Basically, putting it out firmly that cricket in India, national or domestic, country or state came first. That was priority over any other cricket, including the Indian Premier League or the IPL. Message loud and clear. That's the core even when it comes to league cricket. You won't find any current Indian cricketer featuring in any T20 league apart from the IPL. It's the price they have to pay, and that's just the way it is. But getting back to BCCI's diktat, as was seen with Shreyas Iyer, the Indian batter was dropped or let go of from the Indian test side owing to a string of poor performances with the condition of appearing for his domestic tournament for Mumbai, getting his rhythm back and then working his way back into the national setup. And then came contrasting versions and reports where Shreyas Iyer said he wasn't really fit yet, while the NCA or the National Cricket Academy in India said that he was 100% fit. In the middle of all this, of course, India wins a test series with youngsters in their ranks, and then comes Captain Rohit Sharma's stinging statement.
The ones who want to play, have the hunger to perform, play in tough conditions, will be given preference. It's a tough format, and if you want success and if you want to excel, then hunger is very important. We will only give chances to the ones who have that hunger. You eventually get to know who doesn't have that hunger to play tests. If you don't make use of opportunities, they will go. The ones who perform and help teams win, they get more attention.
The message that Jesha and the BCCI put forth is only reiterated here. Only hunger to play in the country matters. That comes first than anything else. And a day later comes the news that Shreyas Iyer will be playing for the Ranji Trophy Mumbai semi-final match against Tamil Nadu. A little too late though, isn't it? But the Indian Cricket Board here is setting an example to other boards around the world on how to deal with this issue that seems to be a growing concern. They're showing who's boss, and if players choose to move away from the norm, then they will be dealt with. There is no player or no one who comes above the board and the rules of the sport, and that's pretty simple.